Hello again, YouTube. This is the truth, man, and I'm at home now. I'm normally in the car, but I'm still giving you this truth. So I just watched Matrix Resurrection, and I want to kind of, without trying to spoil the movie too much, I want to kind of give you an overview of what I take from the movie. Basically, the movie couldn't come at a better time because the movie and tells so many things. Like we talk about on here, we call it the red pill. We talk about everything from real red pillers don't just talk about dating. They talk about, like me, all subjects. And again, this channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. Because people who take the red pill, they know that they're not, and they're not too simp. Because when you take the red pill, your eyes are basically open. Now we're gonna talk a little about when you combine red and blue. It's not a good combination, and I'm gonna tell you why. So in the movie, it started out basically. How can I say this without spoiling it? Neo was not his normal self. He was taking blue pills. And therefore, he was going along with the status quo. But there were people around him, just like on YouTube, there are people who are not agents that are on YouTube that are trying to wake you up because they are woke. See, we call them woke, but that's like a slap because the people that they call woke actually are asleep. They actually sleep. We're going to get into the scripture too. So the blue represents liberalism, communism. Even though communism color is red, communism actually is not an illustration of what we call the red pill. It's being trapped. It's unrealistic living. It's Sodom. It's Gomorrah. You have, on this side, you have homicidal maniacs, everything that goes against freedom and freedom of choice, slavery, puppets controlled by puppet masters, viruses, bugs, bots, you name it. But then on the red side, you have true love. You have teamwork. You have free minds. Remember how when 9/11 happened and they did some research, they were like going out of space, and they said the whole magnetic field had shifted because people genuinely cared about each other. They genuinely cared about each other. Looks like my battery is going down. So we're going to try to make this real quick. So as a result of them genuinely caring about each other, the magnetic field in the universe shifted. Kind of like what you're going to see when you watch the Matrix movie. You got to watch it. So, free minds, loyalty, morals, righteousness. Now, when you get red and blue together, it makes purple. And you don't want that because that's confusion. Purple symbolizes confusion. Now, I'll show you real quick because my phone is going to go dead. We'll talk about this a little more later. So in Revelation chapter 17, verse 1, it talks about the great harlot. And it says on verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Now she's symbolic for taking the red and blue and combining them together. You can't mix with the blue. Because remember, the blue is confusion. The blue is trap. The blue is slavery. You can't mix slavery and freedom together. So in verse 3, it says that he carried John the Revelator away into the wilderness. He said, and I saw a woman sitting on the scarlet beast, which was full of the names of blasphemies, having 7 heads and 10 horns. But look at verse 4. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet and adorned with gold and precious stones. and pearls, having in her hand a gold cup of abomination and the filthiness of her fornication. And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery, Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. Verse 6, it says, he saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the martyrs of the Most High. And he said he marveled. Then basically he was getting the explanation of what was going to take place and what it was symbolic for. But I want you to look at verse 13. Because it talks about the beast that she was riding, having one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. Basically, the heads gave their power and authority to the beast. And then you had this woman who ain't no good riding the beast. And the beast is going to turn against the woman and going to kill her, basically. Going to kill her. See, this is why we talk about the red pill. And in the Matrix, basically, it was all about don't choose to fit in. Choose right. Choose the red pill. And there's reasons. And my phone is going dead. Because, again, in the Matrix, remember, the Matrix is a system. And even the symbol, you see all these numbers, confusion. Who can decipher all those numbers? It's just confusion. And the whole series is based on Neo taking this red pill and being enlightened to the fact that the system ain't real. And the system is nothing but a trap. In the big scheme of things, from the earth to the spirit to the galaxy up above of the Most High, the Matrix is intended to trap people and to keep them from learning the truth about God and how he created mankind out of his love and his desire to love something, to have something to love. And mankind was tricked by, I ain't gonna go too deep, this serpent, which is called her the serpent, who was bitter about something and therefore created a whole system that was contrary to the system in which the Most High created. And we who are enlightened, truly enlightened, not from darkness pretending to be light, but those of us who are enlightened with the word of the Most High and the revelation of his word and his truth, we know that the system of doing things that the masses follow, which you'll see bots in the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. You're going to see most of the people trying to resist against the resistance that was needed and necessary, because they was trapped. The system had took over their minds, it took over them, and some of them weren't real anyways, which is another clue about this movie. But again, they're gonna have one mind. And if you go to Revelation chapter 20, it talks about how these people, these one-minded people, these people that's trapped in the Matrix, they're going to be judged. Because they're going to try to turn themselves into something else. Now we're hearing about all this stuff, virtual reality stuff, we're going to just call it. And this stuff is intended to create false realities that the ultimate goal is what we read about in the book of Revelation. Now, I talked to you about the movie The Matrix, how Neo, he forgot who he was because he was taking the blue pills. I'm trying not to spoil it for you, but I'm telling you a little bit. But as he started to remember who he was, the weapons of the people in the Matrix, cyberbullying, etc., it couldn't do nothing with him. He was shielded from it because he remembered what was real. And what was real was freeing your mind. When you free your mind, that's where the real power source is. But thanks for watching. I hope I didn't spoil it too much. I just gave you a little bits and pieces. This is the truth, man. Make sure you subscribe. Again, I'd like to thank all of you who are newly subscribed. And get HBO Max or go to the movies or whatever. And you got to check this movie out. You know, it's very eye-opening. I think I did a good job of not spoiling it for you. But thanks for watching. And like the Terminator, I'll be back.